We're going to try this again. It's your boy Noble Living with a free three. Do apologize about that. Our Twitch disconnected. I'm going to try to figure this thing out, right? For some reason, I don't know why the Twitch keeps disconnecting, but for the sake of YouTube, we're going to keep it rolling here. We're here every morning, the free three. If you guys are newer to the channel, here with DYF Bets, what we like to do is just talk about my favorite picks and plays, right? I like to gamble. You like to gamble. We like to sports bet. And there's games that are coming on every single day. And I just try to give you my take, my viewpoint, what I'm taking in these games. So for today, what we're going to talk about is the college football playoff game that got moved from yesterday, Notre Dame and Georgia. I do want to give my condolences. Do take 1 minute to say just a deep sadness is inside my spirit and soul to all the families, the loved ones who lost their friends. They lost their sons, their daughters, their wives, their husbands, spouses, people that they cared about. They're in New Orleans, just having a good time right off of Bourbon Street, never expecting to, have any type of night end out that way, right? Like, I mean, I've been to New Orleans. I've been on Bourbon Street. One of the safest cities, really, when you think about the amount of volume of people that they have in such a confined area. To see something like that happen with something that's like not supposed to be a weapon like a car, you just hate to see that. But we're here to talk sports, and it's sometimes hard to talk sports when you have some of these things that are going on a national level that's happening right in front of our eyes. But I do want to just give my condolences to the family members that was affected there in that attack. But we still have a game to bet on today, and that's between Notre Dame and Georgia. As of right now, the game is supposed to be played, so we're gonna bet as though or we're going to handicap it. We're going to research as though this game is still going to happen. So I'm going to give you guys my take as to what's going to happen in that game. I gave a little bit of an analysis yesterday, but I'll talk about it a little bit further today since it's the only sole game on the board today from a football perspective. And then I will talk a little bit about college basketball today. And if you want to hang out a little bit after the recording, so I'm going to do like the recording of the free three. I'm going to stop it. If you want to hang out on stream a little bit longer with us, feel free to, because I'm going to talk about the NBA card a little bit, and maybe some NHL, break down the card a little bit longer in just like a less, formatted way. All right. So for today, real quickly, let's recap yesterday, how we did yesterday here on the channel. We had 4 plays that we went through yesterday on the card. We had Texas minus 13. Well, we knew that was the loss of the day. We did not like to see that. Tough game. Shout out to Arizona State, and Twitch ends already again. Got to figure that out. Shout out to Arizona State, man. Put up an incredible fight. They do belong. People said they didn't belong. They do belong. Great, great game. We took Ohio State in the first half. No sweat bet there. And we're going to run that back today. That's probably the foreshadow that you need to know. Teams that played last week are undefeated in the first half against the number on the money line, whatever. Ohio State, no sweat bet there. I also doubled down live with Oregon at plus like 24.5. That was a little bit of a nail biter, but we got it done. Money line lay. We took Texas on the money line. That was our big bet that we had, like holding this thing up, that I was really nervous about, obviously going to double overtime. We had Youngstown State, which was a no sweat bet. And I told you guys in college basketball, what we can do is throw in a few favorites in there like Furman, like UConn. And there we go. We got money line parlay. And then we also took a teaser. Your teaser may have been canceled just because of the game getting moved. So if that is the case, then feel free to do a same game. I'll talk about that. But we had done a teaser with the Ohio State over, which it would have hit, and then also the Georgia and Notre Dame under. We'll talk about that. So that's how we did in yesterday's video. So for today, we're going to run it back real quickly, talking about real fast what we think is going to happen in the Notre Dame Georgia game. All right. Well, the line has kind of moved. It opened up in favor of Georgia at -1.5. Well, now it's at favor of Notre Dame at about -1, -1.5 on certain books. I don't know exactly why that is. It's not like any significant news came out yesterday in terms of that affecting either one of these teams. But I think a lot of money is coming in on Notre Dame, which is why we're now trying to see the flip in the books. Let's be honest, all right? I still lean the under in this game. I don't think the change of the day and the time really makes no big of a difference to me. I still lean the under in this game just because of how I see both of these teams attacking this. This is going to be a defensive battle, all right? No Carson Beck for Georgia, which means what? They're going to have to go with Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton making his first career start. We saw what he liked to do last week, which was run the football. I mean, obviously now with like a week or so underneath his belt, instead of just just getting tossed into the SEC championship game like he did, right? He now has a little bit of an ability to maybe like get more familiar with his go-to pass plays, things of that nature. He's going to have to throw the ball. Let's just be honest. He's going to have to throw the ball. He can't just run it every time. But Georgia is probably going to rely very heavily, not just on Gunnar Stockton, but also on Etienne. He's probably going to get a very, very heavy dose of the ball. So if he's getting a heavy dose of the ball, and then you also have Notre Dame on their side, they have a very strong rushing attack led by Jeremiah Love. I pulled up his stats yesterday on the screen, 1,000 rushing yards that he had. He has multiple games this season where he had 13 carries, 14 carries, 15 carries. He's used to that. You also have Riley Leonard, who's the quarterback for the Irish. He's a dual-threat quarterback. We saw how Georgia struggled with dual-threat quarterbacks because remember when they played Georgia Tech? They were up. Georgia Tech blew that game, but Haynes King was tearing up that Georgia defense, right? So you've got Jeremiah Love. You've got Jadarian Prince, the two running backs, the two running backs for Notre Dame. Then you've got Riley Leonard, the dual-threat quarterback for the Irish. And then you've got Gunnar Stockton, and then you've got Trevor Etienne, who's probably going to eat up a lot of ball. That's why I lean the under here, okay? Notre Dame doesn't give up a whole ton of explosive plays. I'm expecting this to become an old SEC type of game. Every inch matters. Going for it on fourth down at certain key points in the game. Punting at other opportunities and times. Maybe turnovers are going to be a big factor. But I think it's a real big game on field positioning and clock management. That's how I see this Notre Dame-Georgia game. So if you want to take the under 45.5, be my guest. But I'm just not going to go away from what we've seen so far in these college football playoffs, right? Let's pull up the bracket real quickly, and let's take a look at what we've been seeing in the college football playoff. So let's see. College football playoff bracket. There we go. Let's look at this bracket real quickly, guys. All right. The reason why I just want to pull it up is just because it adds a little visual if we could just get the bracket right here. All right. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. I noticed on yesterday's video it looked like I was a little far, so let's zoom in a little bit. All right. Tennessee, Ohio State. Ohio State played yesterday. First half money line was basically minus 125. We took it live on the show. It cashed. No sweat bet there. Why? Oregon had the bye. Let's go to Texas. Clemson. Texas beat Clemson, obviously. Played last week. First half, what happened? First quarter, what happened? Both of these games, first quarter, what happened? Covered the spread. Penn State played the week before. Better team? Okay, maybe. They said that about Boise. Boise put out a fight. First quarter, 14-0. What happened? So why are we going to go against it? Notre Dame, first half, money line against Georgia. That's what we're cooking with. So let's go to the odds screen here on Action Network. Let's go to the odds screen. This is where we're going to be tracking our plays this year. It's not 100% accurate. I got to change a few things because I want to just leave it specifically for the free three, but I like throwing some of my other picks that I like throughout the day and stuff. So I got to change. I got to stop doing that. But let's zoom in here. You could take the under 45.5, but what I'm going to do is we're going to go first half. We're going to go money line. You can see you can still get it minus 110, minus 115. Simple bet, 1 unit down. Notre Dame, first half. It's covered in every single game thus far. No need to go away from it. Full game, I do lean Notre Dame as well, but it's hard to bet against Georgia. Georgia figures out ways. Kirby Smart, he's the better coach. Was this a great point for Miles Leonard to get his first, real major win in South Bend? For sure. I just don't feel like betting with it. If you want to do a teaser, go the under. You could cross the one here because it might be a field goal game. If you want to take Georgia up to +1, you can. I wouldn't be opposed to that if you do that. But I would just go under 45.5. All right? I'm staying off of it. Notre Dame, Georgia. Actually, let's do it. Let's do it for a unit. All right? Let's do it for a unit. Let's get a little bit of action on this game here. Two ways. Notre Dame first half money line. We'll take the under 45.5. All right? Let's update the notepad real quick. Let's pull up the notepad real quick. All right? So we got Notre Dame first half money line. And then we're going to go under 45.5. We're going to take that. We got that about minus 115. All right? Lock that in. Lock that in. We do have this pending teaser. if you still got it going from yesterday. All right. Let's go look at the college basketball slate. All right. Like I mentioned, if you want to hang around after stream, after I finish the free three. We're gonna talk a little bit about NBA from what I've seen thus far, and then also NHL. All right. College basketball treated us really good yesterday. We did a 4-legger plus 100 bankroll builder, no sweat, got it done. All right. Well, we had to sweat out Texas, but that was football. We're gonna do the same thing today on the money line. A lot of good games. Let me tell you what I normally do. All right, in my research process, I go through ESPN first because with new ESPN Bet, you can kind of see the spread. You get it in order of time, right? But then also you can quickly see the records. And I like that. I like to quickly see the records. And I like to see if we're in conference play now, how they've been doing in conference play. Home team is always at the bottom, but you can always kind of just check. We're not getting a whole lot of neutral floor games much anymore at this point. But that's why I also use ESPN, because you don't really get that on DraftKings in terms of neutral floor. Ken Palm will tell you, but you have to dive into each team a little bit deeper, right? So when I look at some of these spreads, right, I've marked down a few teams that I want to talk about that I think that we can put together about 2 money line parlays to get to plus 100 value, all right? 2 things on the college basketball board that I'm seeing right now. I want to talk about this real quickly with you guys, all right? 2 things that I'm seeing on the college basketball board that I want you guys to be aware of. The lines are very sharp. The lines are very sharp. I took Samford team total yesterday as an extra bet. 87.5 was the line. The game ended at 86. Samford had multiple chances to get to 88. Tough. 3-pointers at 84 to get to 87 would have hooked me. The lines are very sharp, right? The spreads for some of these games, 5.5, 6.5. Very sharp. Keep that in mind. But the second thing is avoid the fix. What do I mean by that? Shout out to my boy Ref That Bets. He's really good at the college basketball betting. Check out his stream if you guys haven't tapped into it. You probably see me on his stream a few times. But avoid the fix. And what do I mean by that? He likes to bet the fix. What do I mean avoid the fix? Let's look at this real quick, okay? Why do we have an 11-4 team against a 7-8 team? Longwood is favored by minus 2.5. So basically, if we go to the money line of this game real quick, plus 120, plus 110. It's basically a pick'em. It's not a pick'em, but it's basically a pick'em. Why is there a team that is 11-4 against a team that's not even 500 and you got a spread like that? That is the fix. That's what I'm talking about. Those fishy lines that just don't make a little bit of sense, where you're questioning, like, hold on, like, I don't get why one team is 3-10, the other team is 6-6, but they're favored by 6 points. These are some of the things that you have to question. Some guys like to bet those games because they're like, the line's off, doesn't make sense. A 3-10 team is favored, I'm taking them, right? I like to avoid those games. If you want to bet those games, be my guest. I'm very open to it, right? We can kind of, agree to disagree. But I think right now when you look at this card, there's a lot of money line opportunities. So let's talk about them real quickly. I'm going to throw them all in a money line parlay, and then we're going to take away teams and play around with it like a chessboard, all right? First one that I like, Purdue on the money line. The spread is about 6.5 in favor of Purdue against Minnesota. You can see it right here. Purdue is good. Purdue is good. Yes, they're 9-4, but it is a tough 9-4. Let's go to Ken Palm to verify some of their in-game action. All right, their 4 losses against number 1 team Auburn, against Texas A&M, a very good team. Penn State, first true road game, and then you in conference, and then also Marquette, another road game against a very good team. All justifiable losses. Now they're taking on Minnesota. Ken Palm has this as a 6-point win. Minnesota lost at home to North Texas. North Texas is good, but that is a very bad loss. They lost to Wichita State on a neutral floor in overtime. They actually had that game won. I was watching that game live, and they blew it. That speaks to what type of team they are. And you see what happens when you blow a game that you were supposed to win by? It's a very bad letdown spot. And they lost to Wake Forest, Bethune-Cookman, whatever, and then Michigan State, Indiana, and then these are 2 hardly any type of opponents. Look at Ken Palm's got them projected to win 1 conference game against Washington. Okay, this should be an easy win for Purdue. They're on the road, so it's not going to be a cakewalk. It is a conference game, 360 in pace, so that's might mean not a whole lot of possessions for them. But I like it when a team is 11th in adjusted efficiency, 33rd effective field goal percentage. They hit a lot of threes. You come down here, you see their key contributors for Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, right? All these guys are key contributors, but there's not one person that's dominating. See, 21%, 24%, 29%. Like there's not one person who's eating up 50% of the ball, 40%. Look at Minnesota, right? Dawson Garcia, that's their main guy. Everything runs through him. And then you have these 4 other guys who kind of pitch in and contribute. So we're going to go Purdue. I like them on the spread. You can take them at -6.5 as well. I would take that as an individual bet. But right now we're just talking money line parlays. So we got Purdue, right? I got about 10 minutes to finish 2 money line winners. If you have a team that you like, drop it in the comments. I'm always down to tail. I'm always down to throw somebody in there, right? So I got Purdue. I like Purdue. I like Memphis. Memphis today is on the road against an FAU team. You can see this is -165. Those 2 teams right alone get you to +121. You can do that. If you were going to do that, though, what I would probably do is split these 2. Because one's about -250, -300, and one's about -165. You could probably find heavy favorites on either side to kind of just let those be your 2 support pillars of the parlay, right? Memphis is against FAU. On the road, but Memphis, every time I think Memphis is done, every time I think they're going to lose, they find a way. Ole Miss, great win at home after getting smacked up by Mississippi State. Arkansas State, a very terrible loss, but then they played competitively against Auburn. And look at this non-conference schedule here. UConn, San Fran, Michigan State, Neutral Florida, Clemson on the road, Virginia on the road. Tough schedule. They face an FAU team. Every time they stepped up in class, they've lost. UCF, Charleston, Drake. We know FAU's facing new head coach John Jacobs, because you got to remember their previous coach is now the head coaches of Michigan. So new program, new team, first game in conference. Memphis, this is their conference to lose, in all honesty. Take them on the money line. You can lay them on the spread as well. Road spot, but I like that, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the notepad real quick, and we're going to go to Memphis as one leg, and then we're going to go with Purdue as our other leg. So those are our 2 pillar legs, all right? So I'm going to delete Memphis on out of here for right now. We'll come back and build for them later. So let's look at some of the other teams. I'm not going to break them down as much, but another team I like, Maryland against Washington on the money line. Maryland's a very good team. Look at Washington. Full fade here. It's a fade on Washington. I know they're at home. I know they're 9-4. But step up in class, loss. Step up in class, loss. Step up in class, loss. They beat Washington State. Okay. Bad loss at home to Seattle. They were feeling themselves, which means a team that's young, that's not prepared to win. And then, you know, you face a Maryland team, Marquette, Purdue. On the road, Marquette at home, tough loss. Ohio State win, Syracuse win. Now, don't get me wrong. This is like their first true road game for Maryland. Besides, I guess, Purdue, which happened in conference. But this is a tough spot. Traveling across the country, it is. If this happened, right, maybe you see they had a break from Saturday to Thursday. I like that. But that's something that might keep you off of this game for right now, right? But if you add Maryland in this parlay, that gets you to -109, right? So Purdue and Maryland, right now at -109. I'm not locking in anything just yet. I'm looking at the comments just to see if you guys have got anything, all right? So not locking in anything just yet. Let's look at another team, all right? Let's go to Wright State. Wright State, -900. You see, that's just like one of those favorites that you could throw in with Memphis. And now, instead of it being -165, we're now at -120, right? I like Wright State today, but they're obviously very juiced at -900. So let's just keep moving on past that. Nothing too much to talk about there. Let's go to UNC Wilmington. Against Townsend, -250. right? I like UNC Wilmington. This is, again, a fade on who they're playing. Townsend. 5-8. Midst of a 6-game losing streak, really. 3, 6. And they beat Bryant at home last time, but that's not really that good of a win. I mean, and it was right before Christmas. Letdown spot for Bryant. This team hasn't played in damn near 20 days. That's tough. Now they got to travel on the road against a UNC Wilmington team that played on Saturday that's their tune-up game before conference. Townsend was enjoying Christmas break for the last 10 days. You see what I'm saying? Minus 250. UNC Wilmington, they're getting in there. They're getting in there on the money line. So we're gonna go UNC Wilmington. Let's go to the notepad. Let me put this to the side right here for you guys so we can get the notepad. So let's just say I got UNC Wilmington. Maryland, I said we're thinking about. Maryland, we're thinking about, right? But UNC Wilmington's in there. They're in there. Townsend, just a terrible spot. On the road, you haven't played a game in 10 days. Christmas and New Year's in college. Nah. Against a UNC Wilmington team that's 10-3 to start off first game in conference. When you can win the conference, they're expected to compete for the Coastal Athletic. It's them, it's Hampton, Charleston. Those are the 3 teams. Elon's pretty good this year, right? Tough spot. All right, let's go. So Purdue, Memphis, Maryland, Wright State, UNC Wilmington. The other team that I like for today, speaking about Elon, is Elon against North Carolina A&T. They're minus 275. Let's look at them real quick. I got 5 minutes. We're going to cook it up. All right, North Carolina A&T, 153 on KenPom. North Carolina A&T, 307 on KenPom. 4-10. Do you need to see anything else? Good little win here. I like the fact that they played a game on Saturday. Let's see Elon. They played a game on Saturday, and they were able to beat Marshall pretty handily. Yes, it's a road game, but I like Elon here, okay? Last one of the mid-majors that I really like before we get to our coin toss games, okay? I like California Irvine. UC Irvine, another road team, minus 380. UC Irvine. Conference play. They're already 1-0 in conference. They played on Monday. I like that. Now they faced Cal Poly, 6-8. They did play, but they lost. 0-2 in conference. Not expected to do too much, right? And this is a road game. This is a home game for them. That's the only thing that might keep me off of it a little bit. But again, UC Irvine, one of the best mid-majors out there in the Big West, expected to compete. They beat Northern Iowa. They beat Kent State. They lost to Oregon State, but they were competitive. This is not that good of a loss, but it's a road loss to Duquesne, non-conference, so that's fine. All right, and then the toss-up games, and these are going to be the ones that I'm going to avoid. Oregon is number 1. Oregon State is number 2. Look at the line movement. Opened up minus 220. Now it's at minus 160. Oregon's been getting a little bit of money. And there's another one that I like, and that's Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State at minus 170. See, the lines moved across from them in favor as well, and that's a fishy line for me. Okay, so let's go look at what we got real quick. We got Purdue, we got Maryland, we've got Wright State, we've got UNC Wilmington, we've got Elon, we've got UC Irvine, and then we've got Memphis. All right, we could really cook up 3. Let me go Memphis real quickly. Let me just toss them in here. That gets you to plus 700, right? I'm sprinkling 1/10 of a unit. I'm going to put $20 on that to win 150, okay? Just simple. Now let's cook up our 2-leggers. The first, you could do it by time slot if you want to. So, like, you could do UNC Wilmington and Memphis, so that way that could hit early. That's plus 127, okay? That's plus 127. Let me see what time is Purdue. Spell Purdue wrong. Purdue is at 8. So you could do, let's see. We could do Purdue and UC Irvine. That gets us to minus 135, so we got to fix that. That's at 8. So, and UC Irvine, that gets us to minus 130. I got 2 minutes. This is a 30-minute show. 30-minute show. All right, that's minus 135. Memphis and UNC Wilmington got us to plus, what was that, 120 something? Let's just say 120. All right, and then I had Elon. We had Maryland. I'm not putting Wright State in there just because they're just like the cleanup crew, really. They're just getting added to whatever. They could really get added to this parlay in all honesty. But let's see. Let's clean this up. What's going on here? All right. UC Irvine. Okay, we just said them. So what am I forgetting? Elon and Maryland. What does that get us? Minus 111. Okay. Elon and Maryland. Minus 111. All right. So now what I'm going to do here is this is where I'm just using my, we've got three two legs, right? Obviously Memphis and UC Wilmington give us our best one. Now I'm just going to parlay. I don't want a risky one with a for sure leg. You get what I'm saying? So like Purdue and Elon to me is a little bit less risky. Purdue and Elon might make a little bit more sense, right? So if we go Elon here and we go Purdue, that gets us to minus 115. Okay. Okay. I like that. And then if we throw in Wright State, plus 100. Locking that in. That's our first one. Elon, Purdue. And Wright State gets us to plus 107. All right. We just got that in by 9:30. Let's cook up the last two. Okay. We're gonna go Memphis. Okay, so that's at 7 o'clock. That's solid. You can do that Arkansas State too. Memphis, UNC Wilmington gets us to plus 125. Let me see UC Irvine real quick. UC Irvine. I'm taking out UNC Wilmington. UC Irvine plus 108. Memphis and UC Irvine. I'm getting that to plus 108. And then finally, we've got Maryland. You can throw in Arkansas State. If you didn't see Arkansas State, they're playing Old Dominion. That's minus 650 right there. That's minus 650. And then we're gonna go Maryland. And Wilmington. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. We really need to go. We really need to go Memphis and Maryland and UC Irvine. The reason why I want my two for sure legs in there, right? I like UC Irvine the most with Wilmington the most. So, hold on. So if I go UC Irvine, all right, Wilmington, Irvine, what does that get us? Minus 124. Okay. Okay. You know what? All 6 of these are hitting. They hitting. For the sake of this video and keeping it simple, let's just leave the Memphis and the UC And then let's just go Maryland. And UNC Wilmington. You could do it by time slots. That would make it just a little bit easier for you to like make it through the day, if that makes sense. That gets us a -110. And then you could add in Arkansas State real quick here. And that gets you to +100. All right, let's see what we got in the action for the rest of for today. Again, the record's a little bit off on the side, so don't avoid that right now. We did Notre Dame first half. That should be in there once. I'll delete one. We've got under 45.5. We've got the 7-leg parlay that we did with all the favorites. We've got Elon, Purdue, Wright State to get us a +107. We've got UNC Wilmington, Maryland, and Arkansas to get us to +121. And then we've got Memphis and UC Irvine to get us to +108. That, my friends, is what we're cooking up for today. This is the free 3. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I will fix this Twitch by then. I do not know what's going on with the Twitch. Do greatly appreciate each and every person for tapping in. We have locked in our plays. So, a quick recap. Notre Dame, first half on the money line, and we're also going under 45.5 in the college football playoff quarterfinal. Then we've got college basketball. We've got Memphis on the money line and UC Irvine on the money line in a 2-team steam. Then we've got Purdue, Elon, and Wright State all on the money line. That gets us to +107 in a 3-team steam. And then we've got Maryland and UC Wilmington, and we're also throwing in Arkansas State. That gets us to +121. So 5 bets that we're going with on this Thursday card. Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always. I will be back tomorrow on Twitch, on YouTube Live, DYF Bets. And if you missed this episode, don't worry, guys. We'll be back to actually post the actual video, full video on YouTube as well. All right, guys. Appreciate all the love and support. Let's get to that money. I'll be back on Twitch in about 5-10 minutes breaking down NBA. I'll be on YouTube Live as well, but officially for the free 3, we are done. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Appreciate y'all, and let's get after it, and I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Later, gang.